Your voice is the most important tool when it comes to speech giving. At times you may have spoken a bit too high in pitch, but there are also times when you have spoken a bit too low register. Maybe you have spoken very fast because you were excited to prove a point. However, there are also times when you pulled back your speed and you spoke to the point where your audience felt like falling asleep. Now, there are 4 things to be mindful of when it comes to your voice and how you control it. Today, we'll be talking about it. Hi, my name is Seki, and I have been a public speaker for the past 15 years and a public speaking trainer for the past 10 years. If you'd like to know more about public speaking, communication, and leadership, feel free to follow this channel for more. Now, the 4 things that you need to be mindful of has to be, number 1, the pitch of your voice. When your pitch is high, it shows excitement. You tend to also correlate with the speed and makes it very fast when you speak. However, by doing so, sometimes it could be uncomfortable for your audience to listen to you. However, there are also times when your pitch goes too low and people tend to take a bit more effort to try and catch what you're trying to say. So work out what is the best pitch that works for you, the middle register of your voice. Now, there are also times when there are people who were born with higher pitch voices or lower pitch voices tend to ask me, how do they actually make an improvement when it comes to the pitch of their voice? It has to do with the next thing, and that is the pace. If you are born with a naturally high pitch in your tone, make sure to try and slow down your voice, your speaking voice. When you slow down, it is easier for people to catch what you're trying to say. And similarly, when you are going more towards the lower register of your voice, try to pick up the pace and speak a little bit faster so that your excitement takes over and your pitch naturally goes up a register or 2. So we've covered the pitch, we've also covered the pace. The next thing that you need to look into is pause. You need to give time to your audience to make sure that they have enough time to digest what they've just heard. So it is important for us to create impact with the pause. An impregnated pause is more important than saying a string of words fluently, smoothly, but people can't catch the dynamism there. So when you pause, it gives your audience a bit of time to be able to process what you're thinking and how your thought process was when you were delivering that speech. The final thing that you need to look into is the power of your voice. Now, the power of your voice relates a lot to the volume. If your crowd is a small crowd, don't shout at them. Speak in a manner that allows even the furthest person to be able to hear you. But in a big room, you will need to put up that power, push it all the way to the point where even the furthest person can still hear what you say. Now, of course, it is different when you are mic'd up. If you are mic'd up, you have the power of the sound system to help you with that power of yours. So, whatever it is, wherever you are doing your speech, whether with a mic or without, make sure that you have a dry run so that you can go up there, test the mic or even test your own voice and see the furthest reach of where you can go to. Then you will roughly know how to gauge the power in your voice. So remember, there are 4 things to be mindful of, and they all start with the letter P. Number 1 is the pitch of your voice. Number 2 is the pace in which you are speaking, whether it is fast or it is slow. The next thing is to make sure you have pauses in between your speech so that you give time for people to digest. And finally, make sure you know the power of your voice, whether you should be speaking in a high volume or pull it back down. With these 4 tips, I hope you have learned something, and hopefully you will be delivering a fantastic speech with proper control of your voice.